Welcome, bienvenidos. This is Roxana for Metamorphosis Rocks, and today we are going to talk about net neutrality from the perspective of somebody that doesn't really know what's going on except to know that this is not good. And we're going to talk about, and I know I'm going to say the name wrong, so I apologize, but we're going to talk about Ajit Pai or Ajit Pai. I don't know how to say his name, who yesterday decided to make a video to explain that we really hadn't lost anything. Very misleading video because nobody has ever argued that we're going to lose the ability to do anything. What we are complaining about is our ability to pay all the crap that we're going to have to pay now in order to use the internet. Now, if you don't know, there is a meme running around on, I want to say Facebook, that shows you every single time companies, usually the major three, which I happen to have cell service with one of them, trying to collude and mess up with other companies in order to, for example, avoid Google searches, make YouTube videos unwatchable and that sort of thing. So how is this going to end? I honestly don't know. But I will tell you this. That video was very misleading for that reason. Now, the first thing he talked about, and it stuck in my head, was you can still gram your food. I've never called it gram my food. I believe, I guess that is a thing. I looked it up online and I didn't find... to be honest with you, I didn't go to the dictionary that I should have gone, but he was trying to sound cool, and in my opinion, he didn't pull it off at all. I am not a millennial, but I know a lot of millennials because my daughter is one, and I can tell you that all the millennials I know were like, yeah, no. He's kind of like the nerd that nobody wants to claim, and as a proud nerd, I can tell you, as a nerd, no, he's not in my tribe. Get him away from me. The second thing he did, which I thought was really funny in the sense that, wow, you really trying to be cool and you're gonna get it, was he was talking about fanhoods, and he decided to do a Star Wars bit with a purple saber. Now, for those of you who are Star Wars fans, you would know that there's only one person with a purple saber, and he asked for it when he decided to do the movie, and that would be Samuel Jackson. Needless to say, now I have no power, so I'm sure he didn't see it, or maybe 200,000 other fans send it to him, and I haven't checked Twitter, so I don't know if he has said anything about it or not. But last night I went ahead and I tweeted Samuel Jackson. And I said, dude, how do you feel about this? This boy thinks he's cooler than you, and there's nobody cooler than Samuel Jackson. I don't care what you say. So I can't wait to see Samuel Jackson's reaction. He did say, oh yeah, he went into a comment about burying a meme. And he went into the Harlem Shuffle? I thought that was like 2016. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it was 2017. But I thought it was a long time ago and it's no longer a thing. So, yeah. And here's the thing. And this is the part that I want you to understand and the reason why I'm talking about this. He did this video with the help of a very conservative organization, but what you need to understand is that this is not a political issue. This is an everybody versus idiots issue. Because I know a lot of people that are conservative, and I know a lot of people that are not, and none of them like this idea. Now, I suggested something last night, and I'm going to, until all the trials and everything else goes ahead, I'm just going to keep telling people the same thing. One of these companies is going to get smart, and they're going to figure out a way of not charging for any of this stuff and keeping the rates the way they are. And that's the company that I'm going to support. It's as simple as that. You know, if we cannot make people do the right thing when they're in government, then the only other option we have is since we're the consumers, we need to band together and draw them out of business. Now, there's going to be companies that are going to try to take advantage of this as soon as it becomes law or whatever happens. I really don't know what's going to happen. But I can tell you right now, I already posted several comments on my phone carrier's Facebook page publicly. And I said it very loud and clear. You start doing this crap and I will return all my equipment. And let me explain something to you. In this house, all 3 cell phones, the 2 tablets, and there's a couple of other devices, they're all from this company. And I have absolutely no problem in returning every single one of them. And more importantly, come and get me. Because if the real bills can't get me, you're not going to get me when I return the phones. So I don't know what you're going to do. And the funny thing is that my company already charges the highest rate of all companies in the US. I don't see how you can charge more than these people do already. And I stay with them because their service is ridiculously reliable. When we had the storms here, I had internet service and phone service the entire time. I have friends that didn't. So that's how reliable this company is. But yet they're considering charging for all this crap. It's ridiculous. And I gotta be honest with you, I have absolutely no problem. And it's gonna hurt, obviously, because I'm trying to build a business that is mostly online because of my inability to be in a particular office for a long periods of time. But if I have to change the way I build my business in order to avoid all the social media, that might be an option. I might have to stop posting videos on YouTube. I might have to kill my Twitter feed, my Instagram feed, my Facebook pages. I have absolutely no problem doing all of that if I'm going to have to pay all of them individually, because I just can't afford that. I was looking at somebody's, and I don't know what country it was, but pretty much everything was $5 extra. I already paid like $90 for all my services. It's ridiculous. Now, I'm pretty sure there's going to be companies like the cable company that I use at home that might not change the way they do business just because they already charge you a ridiculous amount to have internet access. And by ridiculous, I mean $50 a month. And they probably, and I see cable companies taking advantage of the situation because they already have certain things established with certain companies. But I don't get it. I mean, seriously, we already pay too much for a lot of things. Why is the government trying to make us pay even more? The whole promise of this campaign of the person that is now the president of the United States was, you're going to get tired of all this winning. Okay. I'm a 51-year-old Hispanic woman from Puerto Rico whose friends don't have electricity, who have to boil their water, but if they don't have electricity, how are they supposed to boil their water? Who, many of them, don't have a job to go to because their companies haven't been able to open yet. With no work, because I don't have a job right now. Struggling financially because the rest of my family is bringing money to the house, but I'm not. And now you're asking me to take the only thing that I have that's free for me in parentheses, because I pay for the cell phone and I pay for the cable access and the internet access. And you want me to pay even more. And I'm not even going to get into the new tax laws, because people think, oh, the tax you pay is lower. Yeah, but they also lowered all the exceptions I can take, so that pretty much kills any advantage I get from that. I'm still going to pay ridiculous. When somebody there's two people in the house, only one of us is working, and even though the last time I did taxes, we didn't even come close to. We're nowhere near $100,000. We're not even. I'm not even. I'm trying to remember if we made $60,000. I don't even think that was it. We didn't make a lot of money, and we still had to pay like $3,000 in taxes. I remember, and that's federal. Thank God I live in a state that doesn't have state taxes. But I remember when I was young, and this should tell you how ridiculous taxes have gotten. When I was young, my husband and I made, between the two of us, we made $30,000 a year. And we would get back $2,000. And we've always claimed the same exceptions because we're idiots and we don't know about the exceptions and all that stuff. But, yeah. And now, there was one year when, because we were sick and we took leaves from work, but we didn't necessarily get paid for all the leaves. There was a year that we made $30,000. I think it was 2 years ago, and we ended up paying $900. Same amount of money we're getting paid, same exceptions we take, because we've always taken the same exceptions. I think we take 2 exceptions on the W-2 form. I'm not sure. And we're still paying a lot more money than we were paying 30 years ago. Logically, you would think that if it's the same income and you have medical expenses, because we had my surgery alone was $21,000, one charge. Because here, I don't know how it is in your state, but in the state that I live in, they charge you everything individually. So the surgeon charged like $5,000. The actual room where the surgery was $21,000. The anesthesia I think it was $2,000. Let's just say, for the sake of argument, that everything altogether was about $40,000. And I still ended up paying $900 because, not everything is a deduction. And of course, the medical plan pays for some of it. But still, we paid a ton of money on medical expenses. And there was 2 of us because I had surgery. And then another member of this family had cancer. And we still ended up paying a ridiculous amount of money for a tiny little bit of wages. I really don't. I really don't. I already put a goal for next year that somehow I'm going to make more than $100,000 between the 2 of us, because now there's only 2 on our tax form. Because we need to make at least $100,000 so the money lasts longer. When I was young, my dad used to say, I don't mind if I have to pay more taxes because that means I'm making more money. I just don't see it. Because every year, our goal has always been every year to make at least $3,000 or $4,000 more than the year before. And we have kept that up, except for the last 2 years because of medical reasons and in family situations. But I have progressively paid the same amount in taxes that I did and then when I had a year that was more or less the same as the old times, I still paid more in taxes. I don't see any reprieve. And it is a reality. When you make less than $100,000, unless you're poor and you're making $10,000, $15,000 a year, or I think $10,000 is the cutoff for you not to do your tax forms. But unless you make less than $10,000, if you're in that hole between $10,000 and $999, your taxes are ridiculous. And if I was making $70,000, $80,000 a year and I had a lot to show for, everybody here had a car and we had the best medical insurance and the best of everything, I wouldn't have a problem with that. But we cannot even afford to take the best coverage because the companies always give you what I call the good, the bad, and the ugly. We have the bad. We don't have the good. We don't have the ugly. We have the middle of the ground insurance policy just because we can't afford the other ones. And it bothers me because we're the ones who keep the economy going. We're the workhorses of the economy, and we get screwed. Poor people don't get screwed as badly because they're poor, and the rich don't get screwed because they're rich and they can hide all their money. But we are the poor idiots that pay for everything everybody else is doing. And I'm sick of it. I honestly am sick of it. And this net neutrality thing is the last straw on many straws. And by the way, this doesn't mean that I am against Republicans necessarily, because Democrats also don't care. I'm just against any government that, because here's the thing. There are places in Europe where you pay a lot more taxes than we do. But you see a lot more things than we do. There are entire countries where you don't pay for any medical expenses. And I'm not getting into whether, and it cracks me up because people are like, yeah, but the medical profession is not as good as the Americans. I'm sorry, what? Now, don't even try. There's good doctors and bad doctors in every country. There's good medical services and bad medical services in every country. So don't hit me with that crap. The fact that the state is paying for your medical attention has no bearing on the quality of care. If you don't believe me, go and check how many people die in hospitals in the United States accidentally for mismanagement of their care. We all have good and bad, every country. So don't hit me with that. But, there's other countries where kids go to college and they don't have to pay for college. Well, of course, if you're not going to pay for college, then I have a problem paying that much in taxes, because my kids are going to go to college, and if I want to go back to college, I can go back to college. It annoys me that everything has to be a cost. And I understand we live in a capitalist society, and that's why I'm saying we need to start playing the capitalist society so that we get what we want, because obviously the government's not going to give it to us. So my option is simply, whatever American company decides to give me internet without me having to pay separately for everything, and gives me a good rate, because I'm already paying ridiculously high amounts for internet access, both on my phone and at home. Whoever gives me the best rate wins. And I will tell you right now, I will give you free publicity every day of my life, because this is ridiculous. I don't know where this is going to end, but this is ridiculous. Anyway, it was not a good week. That was the news of the week. To me, that was the biggest story of the week. That, and of course, the whole, there were elections, there were suicides, there were all kinds of weird things happening in the media this week. And of course, the bullying story that started the week. But I can tell you this. To me, the big story this week was net neutrality. Just because, as usual, the middle class is the one that's going to get hurt by this. Have a wonderful weekend, and thank you for watching.